Hello everyone, this is Colin on the ASCA League channel, and here we are for the Copperhead Amateur Series Duels in Daytona as we come in here ready to decide who will make the final field for the Daytona 250, fresh from Florida 250 that is. And it's great to be back. The Copperhead Amateur Series, a long off season, but they're ready to kick things off with the first official race here. 2 duels, 38 cars each. Here are the drivers that will line up in the first duel. Taking your ASCA pole award, Zach Komoski, and on his outside, Giovanni Barrazza, a pair of Penzel Pro Series drivers deciding to drive in Daytona here to get a little experience. You'll see a lot of them actually from the Penzel Pro Series, but there's sure a lot of rookies as well in here, making this a pretty mixed field. Going down through the field, a lot of drivers also making their first starts. I see Christian Mizrak, Oliver Galloway, Andreas Allen, a bunch of rookies. Not only just rookies to the season trying to make their first full season, but also rookies to the series making their first ever career starts. We have an onboard today here with Andrew Gorman. He will be carrying the Garmin with Fusion onboard camera today. Gorman looking to do what he did last year with Malley Motorsports and make the fresh from Florida 250, which also happens to be his only career start made. And he starts 9th place on the field, but as the field of 38, they all want a shot at trying to get into the top 7. And as the pace car dips off, we will see the green flag for the first time in 2019. And the 18 car of Zach Komoski will lead him to the green. 37 hungry drivers right behind him. Komoski inching ahead of Giovanni Barrazza as he'll pull up and block the outside lane. Here comes the 29 car though on the inside. That is Jonathan Rains piloting the Dodge for the brand new Overdrive Motorsports. Not unheard of in the Penzel Pro Series, but this is their first adventure down in the Copperhead Amateur Series. Picked up Jonathan Rains over the offseason as well as DPI race karts, and that will be on the hood for the majority of the season as the top 2 start to break away. But look at the run that Ryan Kendall's going to get. And we mentioned Zach Komoski, Giovanni Barrazza, both Penzel Pro Series guys who have dipped into the lower series. Well, Kendall has had a history of dipping into this race, and he wants a shot at it again here today. I mentioned before the race started that there's only 7 cars out of each duel that will make it into the 250, and that is a very extremely low number considering there are 38 drivers in this entire field, and there are well more than 14 capable cars of making the field, and Kendall is one of the top prospects to make the show, and right now he is showing it. He has a fast Red Stallion Racing Dodge out front right now, and in fact here comes the 42 car of Gorman. We're just talking about him. He's carrying our onboard, has made it up from 9th to 2nd in just 2 laps. And that is what super speedway racing can do. It can turn the running order on its head in just a few laps, something that we don't get anywhere else. You see Komoski, usually if you get hung out to dry on the outside lane, you go straight back, but Komoski was lucky enough to get down to the inside line. As it normally is, the inside line is the preferred route around this 2.5 mile high-speed oval. And the banking, while it can keep you in the throttle all the way around, the inside line is just as good. And the inside line is the quicker way around the track, as you can shave off a little time. As looking back through the field, a couple other Penzel Pro Series regulars. You see Hergio Arvin Alonso driving for a new team, Big Bankles Motorsports. Big Motorsports version of its team in the Copperhead Amateur Series. And with help and funding from Hergio Arvin Alonso, they're looking to try to make a stable program and trying to go for full-time next season. And they're looking to have a good season here today. And right now, Hergio piloting his Krispy Kreme Chevrolet up into a spot that will transfer. Right behind him, Rick Witt also looking to do the same. His Rage Attack Racing Chevy, that team has been around for 3 years, one of the older teams in the series. And he also looks to be on fire today as he is going to the front. But another new team, this not funded by a Penzel Pro Series driver, but a completely new endeavor altogether. This is NS Racing. And the 12 car driven by Caleb Henderson, a very quick driver back last season, drove for Malley Motorsports. And while some of the assets were sold off, NS Racing was one of the teams to pick him up. and that Headstrong Project Chevrolet looking strong, going to second place. And for a startup team, that is incredible to see early on. And we mentioned Gorman was up in second place. Well, you can see what the pack can do to you. And he has got dropped all the way to the back. Not necessarily all the way to the back, probably mid-pack, I'd say. Right in front of him, Jonathan Rains. We also talked about him at the beginning of the race. But at the moment, they are outside of a transfer spot and will need to find their way back up. Still 8 laps left in the race. There's plenty of time to make some moves and get yourself back up to the front. It's all about timing here in these duels, and with 7 transfer spots, there's not much room for error as you see a bunch of cars going by the inside. The 2 car of Aiden Milliken, that's a Avalon Motorsports Chevrolet, hasn't seen the front yet, but that team is quick, and that's another competitor that you have to look out for in terms of transferring. Here's the other Red Stallion Racing car entered in this race. Ryan Kendall still dominating out front, but Gatelin Downey and the 17 Flowmaster Dodge would like a piece of the lead as well, as he is now in the transfer spot running 3rd place. Giovanni Brazza has held down the 2nd spot as well for a good portion of the race so far. And right behind Gatelin Downey, you see Colin Denton in the 64. He started good, dropped back, but he has already found himself back to the front, and this guy won't go away. You see Zach Komaski coming strong on the inside as well. And Komaski in the 18 Peak Ford looking to give his parent team, Team SFR, a shot at the Daytona 250. And Kendall, though, it shouldn't be understated that he has been dominating this race so far, keeping almost a car length in between himself and 2nd place at all times. And right now he finds his teammate behind him, so he should be good still for another couple laps. And you see Aiden Milliken, we were just talking about him. He's carrying the visor cam here for today. Aiden on board with him right now as he is in a transfer spot now. He was one of the top drivers to be talked about in the garage area, was carrying the fastest times in practice, and while he was underwhelming in qualifying to say the least, he has found himself now up into the front, his car working much better in the pack. You see Hergio Alonso, but on the inside, Gorman coming, he's caught 3 wide. The 17 car losing ground on the outside, and Milliken is going to start to drop back. And with 8 out of 14, time is running out. We are past halfway. Kendall still holding a commanding lead now in front of Zach Komaski, but I doubt Komaski, with how aggressive he's been so far this race, he's going to stay back there for long. And Hergio Alonso getting shunted out of the way. Here comes Rains, I see back there in the top 5. And Zach Komaski pushing Ryan Kendall down the backstretch. And the field's starting to form up a little bit more. There's a bunch of drivers in the back just looking to try to find a way to get to the front. And Kendall and Komaski pulling away, though. And if they can work together, they might be able to last the last 5 laps here without much contest. And you see 3 wide in the back. I see the other Overdrive Motorsports Dodge heading into the picture as well, of Christian Mizdrak. And as we look back in the field, on his outside, Giovanni Barraza was 2nd place for quite a while, but he has started to find himself slipping back, and he is outside of a transfer spot. Josh Bullen in the 31 to his outside, also looking to find his way in. And to his inside, Rogers Racing, a new team in the sport. He has Davey Johnson to his inside. That team looking to make some strides here, partnered with DW Motorsports, taking over their assets after they disbanded last year. And other drivers that are worthwhile to mention, probably not going to make the field, but High Flying Racing, they've made a lot of strides in the offseason, were considered back markers last year, but they have shown promise, and they are actually sticking with the pack. A few drivers have fallen off this lead group. And just behind him as well, that's Foster's Autosports Incorporated. And they also are a startup team completely from scratch. And being able to stay with this lead lap pack, that's pretty impressive out of that team. And at the lead, we got some shifting. And there goes Ryan Kendall. He's going to get past 3 wide into turn 3. And shifting to the outside, the 16 is now out of line. In fact, he could be in dangerous territory here with just 4 laps to go, coming to 3 to go. And I knew Komaski wasn't going to want to sit around behind him for long. Komaski did not seem like the kind of guy to just pull over and let him win the race. But here comes NS Racing's Caleb Henderson to the inside. He's been racy all weekend long, and he wants a taste of the lead. And the field shifting momentum. All the cars stuck on the outside. They're going to have to find a way to get to the bottom quick, or they could be in jeopardy here. Milliken coming on the inside. Alonso coming on the inside. And you see just how much ground they gain down there. Here's Christian Mizdrak making his first ever start, and he's finding himself in a great position in that 0 car. And coming to 2 to go here. Milliken holding the lead. And the cars behind trying to find a way to be the 6 cars that advance with them. And if you can find yourself out front, Milliken up and down the track, holding off multiple lanes of traffic. And you see the field is more formed up than ever. And it's going to be a dogfight for these last 7 spots here. And the cars flying by down the backstretch at over 190 miles an hour. Rick Witt coming up the inside with help from Colin Denton. And just behind him, the Sealmaster 00 car. That's Taco's racing team. That's a team that hasn't been around in 4 years, making a return under new ownership. And the white flag is out in the air. 1 lap to go. Up at front, Mizdrak taking to the inside. Christian Mizdrak, the owner of Overdrive Motorsports, decided to test his abilities and made a 2nd car for him to drive in. And he is overperforming, as nobody expected this, but he is leading on the final lap, but he's got to hold off the competition from behind. Giovanni Barraza, he's going to make a move. Will Rick Witt go with him? He's going to stay high, but he might get some help from other Chevy teammate Colin Denton in the 64 for Vasquez Racing, and he's got the nose. I don't think the 0 can get a push in time, but it's going to be close. Mizdrak making ground, but it's not going to be enough. Giovanni Barraza in the 92 Grease Chevrolet, a long-standing driver, seasoned veteran, is going to see the checkered flag here in the first duel, and he will clinch a spot. And the cars behind him, Colin Denton, Christian Mizdrak, Rick Witt will also clinch, as well as Aiden Milliken, Nicholas Lothair-Irvin, and Zach Kamoski squeaking by as the 7th seed. But for the other 31 drivers, they're going to have to go home and will not be able to race in the Fresh from Florida 250. And already the cars ready to get out for duel number 2 here. 38 more are ready to take to this now hot, slick track, as Jack Newman will get the Haas Pole Award for duel number 2 on his outside. Aiden Thomas and the 73 for P2P Motorsports. And as the rest of the starting grid rolls down, this field, I believe, will be a tough one to decide who will be the final 7 to make it in, because it is so strong. Much stronger than the last field, in my opinion. And we'll have to see. We have 2 onboards here today. Nia Deverett in the Miller Lite onboard for Blue Flare Motorsports. That's a team that you have to look out for. As well as Big Bang Cool's Motorsports is Mac Johnson in the 96 car, as he will run the full season, as he has the Chevy on board in that Ore-Ida Chevrolet. And these 38 cars are now, we've decided 7. We're going to have to decide 7 more out of this field. And another 31 drivers will also go home today. But who will be the 7 to advance? The pace car is on pit road again. And Jack Newman is left in the hands as the restarter, as the green flag flies for the 2nd time. We're racing again in duel number 2. And that's an even better start than we saw last time. Newman opening up a 2.5 car length lead over his competition. Cesar Chavez in the 88, another driver pulling double duty right behind, but he's going to get pushed into the middle. And Matt Dunn in the 98 car, another car for NS Racing, is going to the front. Man, NS Racing has had a great time here in the duels so far. However, the 12 was not able to advance last round. Matt Dunn is going to try to do it this one. Gerard Oran in the number 93 car driving for J. Barker Motorsports. This will be a part-time entry this year. He's going for the front. He's going to take Matt Dunn, and he's going to get Jack Newman as well. What a push he got from the 49 car behind. And Johnny Gardner is going to push him to the front. Fitzwater Australia Racing didn't make a big splash last duel. In fact, all 3 of their cars that were entered did not make the show, but Gardner is going to try to get Fitzwater Australia Racing in the field. That's a heartbreak for the team that tried so hard. Expanded from 2 cars to 4 this season, and so far it has not worked out, but Johnny Gardner showing the most pace out of all of them on the outside lane with Jack Newman pushing him from behind. There's Mac Johnson coming on the inside, as well as David Barraza, and David's looking to do what his cousin did and take the lead. And David right now going to the inside. I think that's Allison Rhodes out front. She's slipped her way up to the top spot. The 96 car of Mac Johnson on the outside lane, trailing just behind. However, he's going to have to try to find his way to the inside line, as you see the inside working just as it did in duel number 1. Aiden Feith, the 66 car. That's a part-time entry. That's only expected to run here. That's a great run in that Jegs Ford Mustang. But still out front, Gerard Aron. I made a mistake. Allison Rhodes is in second, and Allison's going to go pushed up to the outside lane. Allison driving for her own team, back with Smart Motorsports. Technically 5 cars out of the Smart Motorsports stable here this weekend. And you see Rhodes in the 28 car trying to make it happen. And that AR Racing Ford will be her only opportunity with Amsoil on the hood. And she's trying to make the field of 7. Here's the 25 car of Ryan Reed. The Hunt Brothers Chevrolet Camaro looking very strong. He has come from mid-pack all the way to the front in just 4 laps. And he's going to work on David Barraza. And the Chevy's looking strong out front. 3 of the top cars are Chevys. But in the middle, Jack Newman, he got sent up to the outside lane after starting on pole. He has not relented yet, as he is struggling to try to find his way back, doing it the hard way on the outside lane. But you see, I mentioned before, this is a very, very stout field. A lot of hungry drivers and capable cars trying to make the field. And it is showing here, as you see 3 wide deep into the field. And this could be dangerous. Oh, look at Zachary Palmiter in there in the Bad Dad Racing entry. Oh, that was close in the Debian Dodge. He's trying to make his first start as well. A lot of rookies, though, in this field, and running 3 wide like this. We didn't see a wreck last week. We didn't see it in the Bud Shootout. We didn't see it in Duel 1, but that does not mean it can't happen here. With a lot of inexperience here, anything could happen. And Ryan Reed has found himself out in front after Gerard Aron has been pushed up to the outside line. And following behind him, Josh Joyner Jr. in the 78 Lucas Oil Chevy. That team has some history at these super speedways, and in the car's first ever start at Talladega in Season 3, it made it in spectacular fashion, coming in the last few seconds to be a transfer car without any sponsors, the underdog story, and ever since that team has been one to look out for. And Josh Joyner Jr. is doing him proud as well here, taking the lead, and Josh Joyner making his first ever career start in the Copa Amateur Series, getting a push from some pretty high company. Jack Newman, a 5-season veteran, as Joyner going past the start-finish line to lead lap 7, and Newman going to push him down out of the tri-oval. See coming in, there's a car spinning, cars going everywhere. It looks like they're able to collect it. Was that the 61? And there's more carnage, and it looks like that the car on the apron was not able to rejoin the track efficiently. And that has left a bunch of cars with damage. The 50 car, Sebastian Torres. The 97 car of Danny Lloyd for Galloway Warham Motorsports, a startup team. And this is what we were afraid of. There are some rookies in the field, and rookie mistakes can be made. And the first accident of Speed Weeks has happened here in the second duel. Now is the car that went spinning first, Nia Deverett in the 61 ModSpace Toyota. Let's see what happened. Deverett did not have a good start to this race. She dropped back very quickly, and it looks like the number 79 car of Chris Stottlemyre might have gotten into her and just got a little squirrely in the trial. When you see Stottlemyre tried to rejoin the track and did not enter in a good fashion at all. Here's Nia Deverett's on board. So yeah, just gets punted off track by Stottlemyre. And a little bit of a camera glitch there, apologize. But Stottlemyre was not able to rejoin the track, and we'll see how that happened here. As here's Mac Johnson, and he's going to watch it happen here, actually. The 22 car in the 9070 going by, and they're going to be the first ones to take the impacts. And Trip McGee's in the 22 car, heavy damage, 96 as well, Mac Johnson. All of these cars probably going to take it to the garage, and not what any of these guys wanted to see. Just trying to make the field, but are going to go home with torn up race cars. Jack Newman, though, somehow finds himself out front with Derek Hamill in the 15 car in second place. And after all the commotion, we will have a 2-lap dash to the finish. Jack Newman once again leads him to the green, just like the start of the race, but will he be able to keep it? And behind him, Hamill for Kinghart Family Enterprises, trying to lead the race and get himself into the final transfer spots. Jack Newman, though, once again pulling away. That might be a problem, though. The draft is going to take everyone and slingshot him right by him if he is not able to block the run he's going to eventually get here. And the field already going 3 wide. I see Ryan Reed coming on the inside. The Tanker Motorsports Chevrolet, Josh Joyner Jr. in the middle. And they are fighting. That is well around the 7th position. In fact, that is the 7th spot. The 0-2 of William Johnston making his way into a transfer spot. Matt Dunn, Ashlyn Boyd as well back there. A bunch of drivers we haven't seen all day looking to get into the field. White flag is in the air for Jack Newman one more time around before he can take the victory here. But he's going to have to hold off the cars behind him. Hamill not going to have anything for him because here comes Ryan Reed. Reed already has led a multitude of laps today. Jack Newman will get most laps led here today because of the caution laps. But it's not going to stop Ryan Reed from trying to lead the last one. Reed on the inside line in Double T Motorsports, making the switch to Chevy in the offseason. And I don't know what happened, but those Chevys are fast here in Speed Weeks. And he's definitely going to make the field, but will he take home the duel win? Newman fighting hard on the outside, but it's not going to be enough. Ryan Reed, in his first ever start, is going to take the checkered flag. An incredible performance to come back to the front of the field and pass one of the legends of the series. And 7 other drivers, including himself, will make it to the Fresh from Florida 250. Here is your updated list. William Johnston, Derek Hamill, Andrei Popov, Ashlyn Boyd, TJ Handley, the other drivers moving on. And in total, here are the 2 duels and their finishing results. In the first duel, Giovanni Barraza obviously taking home the win, and an impressive outing by Kristen Misdrak. Also to mention, Ryan Kendall down there in 14th. He misses the show despite leading the most amount of laps with 9 on the day. Disappointing to him for sure. Also down the list, a bunch of drivers. Caleb Henderson also led laps. Was unable to come away with a top 7 spot to secure himself into the final race. And as we look at the finishing results for duel number 2, Ryan Reed, can't say enough about him. First ever race and he's a winner. That's got to give a lot of confidence in his ability to go on and win the main event. As we continue to look through the field, a bunch of drivers like Cesar Chavez, Gerard Aron, Naya Dever, especially in 29th. Drivers we thought were going to be more competitive, but were unable to be a part of the final 14 moving on. And that ends the broadcast here today for the ASCA League. Up next, we have the Pennzoil Pro Series duels, and then just after that, the Copperhead Amateur Series returns for the main event. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all then.